again. This is Doc Sanchez, returning after an extended hiatus. I've been working on my webpage. You can see it and a link on my channel page. You should totally check it out. Doc Sanchez FX, the letters F and X.com. In fact, this very pedal will be there, and we'll get to what's so special about it in a minute. So, today we're going to do Shootout of the Full-Tone OCD, version 3 and version 4, considered by many to be the two best versions. A short while ago, I had in my possession a version 3 and a version 4. Unfortunately, due to financial circumstance, I had to let one go. And sadly, the version 3 had a higher price tag, so it was the one. And it broke my heart. So, I went to work, and I created what I call the Two-Face OCD mod. This is a version 4, and this is a version 3 OCD. Voila! Problem solved. Now I have the magic of the version 3 back in my hands, and the version 4 again. So, definitely check it out if you're into that sort of thing. But we're gonna hop right to it. Get back to the review. Let me give you a quick taste of the clean sound. So that's Fender Stratocaster using the middle pickup. Everything's up all the way, going into a deluxe reverb. And let's get going. I'm going to dial the drive back, tone back a little bit. We can start with the version 4. So there you go, version 3, version 4, correction. Now we're going to version 3. So, my camera's mic is kind of crappy, so you're probably not going to notice the real subtleties and nuances that differentiate these two OCDs. But to give you a quick summary, the version 4 sounds cleaner, more open, has more bass and more treble. So it sounds wider and cleaner, a little bit chimier, and it gets a little bit more of that sort of Stevie Ray Vaughan sort of bite. It sounds like an overdrive pedal. It's got great dynamics, and it has this weird openness to the sound. Here, let me give you an example. I'm going to just play an E chord here. Now we're going to switch to the version 3. Play same chord. And I don't know if you can hear that, but with the version 4, you can almost hear each individual string being distorted. Whereas with the version 3, the sound is a little tighter, it's a little bit more compressed, but it has a huge advantage over the OCD version 3 in that it sounds so sweet. Because it doesn't have as much high end, it's a little less grating on the ears, and sweet really is the best word to describe it. Reading all over the internet, the general consensus is that version 3 is the best OCD, because it sounds more like a tube amp. So, like I said, in comparison, version 3, a little more like a tube amp, nice tube amp. Sweet, dynamic, all that stuff. Version 4 is a little more like a really, really good overdrive, but it still sounds more like an overdrive pedal than the version 3 does. So yeah, I guess that's enough speaking. We're going to turn the drive all the way up. just to show you what this can do. The changes between the two versions isn't as noticeable with the drive all the way up, but we're going to do it anyway. So version 4, distortion all the way up. And now we're going to give the version 3 a poke. So yeah, maybe that cleared up some differences for you, maybe not. I guess the last thing we can do is dial down the drive and the tone, and version 3, version 4, start out with the version 4 here, and see what happens. And now version 3. So yeah, definitely a little darker, more compressed. Yeah, it's really, really hard to convey the sweetness via a microphone, but it's just astounding. Which is why I had to add the version 3 back in here. So, yeah, I hope that clears some things up for you. Up here, you may have noticed the little switch, high peak and low peak. High peak up top, low peak down. The high peak up top is supposed to sound more Marshall-y. Low peak is supposed to sound more Fender-ish. In my opinion, I just leave it at high peak, because the low peak just sort of muddies it up and dampens it a little bit, and it's just not as much fun. So we're not even going to go there. Yeah, that's about it for the review. If you want more details, I highly recommend checking out Gearman Dude's Shootout of all the OCD versions. His reviews actually are the reason I ended up buying version 3 and a version 4. So definitely check them out. Hope this helped you a little bit, and that's about all I've got to say. Hopefully the pedal spoke for itself, and I'll see you all later in some of my later reviews. Stick around, I got some cool stuff to show you. This is Doc Sanchez signing off.